Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Fran-Switch Code. I was at work as always, doing work. I had a bunch of great meetings today, which was super great. But that's not the point. This is about San Francisco. So, am I joyful? I got a little attitude today, but but I'm joyful. I'm just a little snappy. Am I fulfilled? Yes. I'm trying to work on, I've decided that a personal project of mine that I want to do for next year is to try and remove bias in my company's recruiting process. And you got to start small. So specifically our PM recruiting process, because I attended a webinar today for the HR people at a different company, HR and recruiting people at a different company, and they were talking about how they've managed to, how they've tried to mitigate bias in their recruiting process. And I was like, so somebody out here is doing it. Cool, let's do that here. And that's only because yesterday I went to another webinar where the person speaking said, you don't have to leave your company to start projects when you can start projects within your own company on the company's dime. So, for example, one of the things that the ideas I've toyed around with is starting a recruiting platform that mitigates bias. And that's something that I kind of wanted to do for like a year now. And he's right. I don't have to leave my company to start a recruiting platform that reduces bias when I could just try to reduce bias in our own recruiting process and get promoted for it. Well, I wouldn't get promoted for that. I'd only get promoted for being good at my job, unfortunately. That unfortunately sounds weirdly placed, but what I mean is, like, if I'm doing this amazing work for the company, it should be recognized. It'll be appreciated, but I wouldn't get promoted for it. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. What did I learn about Oakland today? On-demand cannabis delivery. That's what I learned. My mailbox had these coupons from Glassdoor. Your cannabis has arrived. Okay, thanks. What did I learn about life in general today? I learned that if you show as much appreciation as possible for other people in the process of trying to do something, they're more likely to be cooperative. I also learned, related note, that you should bring solutions, not problems. I watched the Simon Sinek video. I have his YouTube notifications turned on, so I get notified every video he posts. And his most recent post is called Failure is Necessary. And in that video, he talks about how you should speak up, but you shouldn't just be like, oh, this is a shit show. Okay, great. Now what are we supposed to do about it? So when you speak up, have solutions. Because it's easy to talk crap about something. It's much harder and much more of a leadership skill. Speaking up is a leadership skill, but it's much more of a leadership skill to also suggest alternatives. And the reason why it's in a video called Failure is Necessary is because failure is the attempt to try new things and to experiment with things that might not work. So when you present problems, present solutions that may or may not work, but you're willing to try. Which is related to the other part of things, which is when you ask people of things, show appreciation. It's similar to presenting problems with solutions, because appreciation in that case would be, I appreciate what we have here, we can make it better, versus this is just all trash and I hate it. You know, it's coming from like a place of constructive criticism versus complaining, which is something that I have to grow into, because I can complain And I have learned from my boss today that when you message people for things, to show a lot of appreciation. So it's like, so for example, there's someone who's been not responding to my messages at work, and I'm like, bro, we gotta get this thing done. And I asked my manager, and I was like, how am I supposed to do this? With no response. And she's like, well, message them, say, hey, I know I've messaged you about a bunch of stuff. I can understand if you're busy. I think it would be a more efficient use of your time for us to just have a meeting about it. So I'm gonna add something on your calendar for tomorrow. And now by tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably have more answers than I would have if I didn't do that. But the important part was the execution. Saying, I know you're busy. I'm trying to help you be less busy, not just, you're not responding and I need this thing done. And the person received it really well. They said, thank you for doing that. So yeah, it's more constructive to bring solutions, not problems, and to bring them with an attitude of appreciation for what is and how it could be better, not complaining about what isn't and having no alternative to what could work as an improvement. I'm gonna journal for the first time in maybe months. I'm kind of scared. Like I said, I'm a little snappy today. And I feel like if I start to journal, we're gonna unpack shit that I'm not ready to talk about with myself. But we'll see. Bye.